Brentford 2, Chelsea 2. I don't know what to make of Chelsea now.
I was waiting for you on your line, mate.
I don't know what to make of them now. I'm not going down the controversial statements of Gary Neville calling them bottle jobs or whatever it is, but you do think like they're 2-0 up at half time. They've got to be able to see out that game, surely, if they've got any aspirations to be.
They were 2-1 up.
Was it 2-1 at half time?
No, they were 1-0 up at half time, and then they equalised quite late on.
Yeah. Sorry, you're right. They were winning at half time, which is when Thomas Frank was obviously moaning about the fans. I did like that, though, seeing the fans boo, because it made me think that it's not just my fans that are all idiots. No. How can you be a Brentford fan and boo at half time when you're just only 1-0 down?
I told you, 98% of football fans are idiots.
I was absolute agreement. Like, I think he should call them out for being idiots. And even like at my place when they boo at half time and stuff, you're just like...
For clubs like Brentford, careful what you wish for would be my advice.
Completely.
On that. Like, honestly.
Don't make sense. And then look at it, you're 2-1 up, and then obviously, 2-2 at the end. But
Chelsea played a back three. This was legitimate back three. It wasn't the confusion at early season. This was, and I went back and watched the start of the game, a clear back three with Chalobah going in between Disasai and Colwell. It meant Gusto and Chilwell played as wing-backs. I think Gusto and Palmer are the only Chelsea players that you would remotely want to go near at the moment. What I would say is for those three hitting in 29... it's not a terrible move to go one of those two if you haven't got Newcastle at home, then obviously blank, and then you walk into Burnley at home in 30. And if you're carrying further along, you know there's going to be double game weeks further down the line. And they're one of the best teams for fixtures from game week 30 onwards to the rest of the season. So the problem with Gusto is Reece James, isn't it? Should we be worried about Reece James or not? I feel like it would just be one week and it'd be like, he's back in training. But then it's probably another 3 games before he starts or so, probably.
And then he'll play 2 and then he'll be out for the rest of the season.
Probably. I mean, Gusto is not improbable for me this week. If I don't want to go near that Bournemouth problem, if I don't want anyone that's playing in 29, and I go, well, actually, 30 is part priority for me, get Gusto for now and 30.
When did you sell him? Only 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
It wasn't long.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
But I didn't envisage this. I think he's a great player. He really impresses me every time I watch him, actually. He's been one of Chelsea's standout performers along with Cole Palmer this season. I think Palmer captaincy might even be semi-popular in game week 30 with Burnley at home and obviously City playing Arsenal. If Mo's not back for Brighton at home or people can't get there, I think a few would like the look of Palmer. Son's got Luton at home, so you might get a bit more split in game week 30 as well. Whether that back three sticks or not, I'm not sure. Pochettino said that basically he can't rotate the midfield three at the moment, Caicedo, Fernandes and Gallagher, and it'd obviously been a difficult week for them. He knew Brentford was going to play a midfield three in there, obviously, and he wanted to give them a bit more protection behind. That's what he said. It is ironic they've finally played a back three and Thiago Silva isn't in the team because that would be the most suitable solution for some of Thiago Silva's issues as well. For Brentford, good recovery for them, actually, right? They also obviously played a back three. Wissa came in for more pay. Terrific goal. With his third overhead kick attempts of the game as highlighted on Match of the Day. I think the interesting takeaway one for FPL managers is probably Reguilon. I want a -4 for a defender Suj who plays in 29. Let's get Reguilon. Oh, Arsenal away. Okay, maybe let's let that wait a week or so. But
this is an interesting one with Arsenal away.
You ain't buying any of that this week.
No. How would you feel about captaining an Arsenal player against Brentford? Because we always talk about them being difficult, right? But they've conceded 2 at Chelsea, 4 against us. Right, City, they only conceded 1, but they were bad that game. Liverpool, they conceded 4. They kept a clean sheet against Wolves, but prior to that, conceded 3 against City, 3 against Tottenham, 2 against Forest. Like, they're conceding 2s and 3s in almost every game with a few 4s sprinkled in there. They're defensively just not at it anymore. Like, you don't feel like they're going to grind out a 1-0 or make it difficult. Arsenal away, for them defensively, looks horrible.
So I'll be captaining Solanke, as long as I buy him. If he's injured for whatever reason, I probably am going down the Morris route myself. and I probably would captain Morris.
Yeah.
Of the single game week players, I would captain Saka. This week.
And there will be people that don't have the
Saka will. What it will do to Region isn't worth thinking about. Because there's the flip of it. So from a fantasy perspective, it doesn't particularly matter. Because if you want Region for 29, he's ended up having 3 efforts in the box at the weekend, including one that was blocked that led to the other wing-back, Roslev's goal. Roslev is a little less secure in the team. So definitely Region over Roslev. He's also hit the post with a header. He was actually pretty unlucky with that Region as well. So he's the defensive one to go to at the moment with no Pinnock, no me. There's that. It's a bit rough defensively. But positioning-wise, yeah, for 29, I imagine he'll be in the majority of free hit teams in game week 29, Sergio Region. So he might come onto radar for me. But defensively, his concentration is so bad. Yeah. Saka will... All Saka's got to do is give the give and go and in behind, and Region's done.
Dangerous, yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't expect them to get anything at Arsenal at the weekend. As said, keep an eye out for potential news on Tony. Suppose he wasn't limping at these Brit Awards. No, I didn't watch it. But he was limping towards the end of the Chelsea game. I think from the back line, Zanka, Jair, Collins will stay as the back three, but I wouldn't make a case to buy any of that over Region at the moment. And again, it's probably not this week. It's the week after. I think it's a good result for Brentford with the issues they've got injury-wise. Henry, Mee, De Silva out for the season now. Obviously still without the likes of Bumo, Hickey, Sade, Pinnock. None of them going to be back available, we don't think, before game week 29 comes round. So I think the Brentford interest will be purely Fleck and Region, Tony. I think Wissa Wonder now is a little bit blurred as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't be going
I think if you
there
wanted to enable him forward at that kind of value, Wissa admittedly is a bit more...
Go to Morris.
Well, Muniz as well at Fulham.
Doesn't make sense.
So, no, Chelsea interest would only be Gusto and Palmer. Big game for them Monday night against Newcastle. Even though they're bottom half, I still think Chelsea and Newcastle's run-ins are so good, and Villa and Newcastle's is so bad, I don't want to rule either of them out for challenging for... I don't think fourth. I won't catching Villa be too much, but catching Tottenham, not impossible.